Boys and girls, it's your friend Winterice Crystal back again from a rather long period of absence. Yes, unfortunately, hefty work demands as of late have left me with little time to do reviews of stuff. But as many of you have requested interactive fiction, I do endeavour to play more than one game in this year's interactive fiction competition. But for now, I'm going to review a sort of interactive fiction sort of game from Spiky Caterpillar and Hanako Games called Magical Diary. Yes, I know this is a game for girls, mainly, but it looked pretty good, so I thought I'd give it a go. I have played some of Hanako Games' games before. Does that sound right? Who cares? I've played Cute Night, which I thought was very good indeed, as well as the not quite as good but still pretty good Fatal Hearts, and of course the 2003 interactive fiction competition entry Sweet Dreams that won the famous, or should I say infamous, Golden Banana of Discord. Okay, the game. But the format of Magical Diaries is rather like one of those Japanese porn games. You know what I mean? The sort I'm talking about. Surely you've seen them. They're the ones where you usually play a teenage boy with this massive fringe covering his eyes and an invisible penis. Excuse me. And you have to click through a series of text boxes, and occasionally you have to make decisions on what you want to do. Well, Magical Diaries is a bit like that, only different. As you could probably imagine, because in this game you play a girl who's just joined a magic school, Harry Potter style. In fact, there are a few not so subtle Harry Potter references in there, so the inspiration is rather obvious. So first of all, you get to name your character, whose default name is Mary Sue. It's rather appropriate, and you get to customise the way she looks, which I don't think that actually affects the game in any way, but it's a nice touch. And you get a bit of backstory to begin with about how you discovered you were capable of magic and how you were admitted to this secret magic school in the first place. And then you start meeting all your roommates, and you meet all the teachers, and then you have to plan your magic lessons each week, attend the various ceremonies and initiation stuff, and all these other events, and it gets quite interesting. The goal of the game is simply to survive the first year of this school by building up various stats while you're playing, such as your skill in the 5 different magical powers that are in the game, which grant you different spells which will just help you get through it. There's also a few romantic options in the game, with numerous boys for you to love from the bottom of your pencil case, should you desire. What else can I say? The graphics. The graphics are pretty good. They're fairly typical for a game of this genre. And the music's alright too, but it does sound a bit tinny and midi-ish in places. In fact, I think they are midis. I haven't checked. I'll have to have a look. I'll check in one of the folders. It's bound to be there. The text is quite well written. I've noticed a few typos and grammatical errors here and there, but there's nothing too serious. The one thing that did annoy me about the game was was the rather unfair exams that you have to pass. In fact, if I remember correctly, one of the characters mentioned how certain things in the school are unfair, but this goes a little bit beyond that. This is a bit of a spoiler here, but it's a fairly minor one. It's an early one, so it doesn't really matter too much. The first exam they put you into this empty dungeon room with no visible exits. And your challenge is to escape the room. And you're given a choice of which magical category you want to use. Well, what happened? First of all, during my lessons earlier in the game, I learned this spell that allowed me to detect ghosts, and super... not goats, ghosts. No, you don't detect goats. You don't need a magic spell to detect goats anyway. Well, ghosts and supernatural stuff. So, I thought I'd check to see if there's anything in here with me, if you know what I mean. So, I tried to cast that category of spell by clicking on the icon. Next thing I know, I'm whisked out of the dungeon in front of this teacher that reminds me of Snape from Harry Potter, who gives me a detention for casting the wrong spell. Well, first he says something like, "What did you think you were doing, casting that type of magic?" Or something like that. And then my character is there saying she doesn't know, even though I knew exactly what I was trying to do. That really annoyed me, to be honest. I mean, there wasn't any warning that making that choice would be the only choice you were allowed to make. So there are a few other exams you have to do as well, which, well, they gave off a slightly similar vibe, but they were quite easy to do. In fact, a bit too easy, to be quite honest. I mean, when I think of the dungeon crawling that I could do in Cute Knight and its sequel, Cute Knight Kingdom, and all the different types of enemies you could face and items you could pick up and magic I could cast, this doesn't seem all that impressive. I mean, I don't know if I've covered all of the combat possibilities, but the number of enemies I encountered when playing this game reached a grand total of 1. I don't know if I missed, like I said, I don't know if I missed anything, but that was the only encounter I had. It was something that looked a bit like a blue Chewbacca with horns, and he was easy to kill. And even then, actually, but by the time the final exam rolled around, I had managed to accumulate this fantastic array of about, it must have been 50 spells. And I'd used a total of about 4, maybe 5, I think about 5. I used about 5 of those spells. The rest just seemed to be useless. I mean, not useless as in... excuse me. Not useless as in... that they didn't do anything interesting, as in... that they didn't... they sounded like they did cool things, but they just weren't enough situations where those kind of spells would have been useful. But the final exams seem to be on the rails, and again, you can lose it without any real warning. Actually, no, I'd like to talk a bit about this. It's a fairly major spoiler, so if you don't want to hear it, switch off the sound now and wait until the warning sign I'm putting on the screen disappears. Alright, the final exam involves you and your 2 teammates working as a, well, team, and you have to find this orb and light it up within a certain period of time. And if you use too many spells, you run out of magical power and you can't finish, and you fail the exam. And like I said, there's no real warning that you're running out of magic. But I don't see how this matters anyway, because I learned a spell that actually recharges your magic, but you don't get to use it for some reason. In fact, the spell doesn't seem to do anything. It doesn't seem to work. I tried to use it in one of the other exams, and it did absolutely nothing. I didn't gain any magic points. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I did wrong. I mean, I cast the spell and I tried waiting, but nothing happened. Oh well, whatever. Doesn't matter. I mean, like in the Harry Potter stories, that there are numerous houses that the different characters belong to. But to begin with, you're restricted to just one. You're in this horse house. Horse house. Okay. I mean, I thought it might be possible to start the game one of the others and meet different characters, but I think that might have been a bit tricky to program. This game was made, I think it was using RenPy, or RenP, however you pronounce it, which is a game maker, which is aimed mainly at visual novels. I've not used it before, so I can't really tell you what it's like to work with. But, what else is there? I mean, overall, I can't help feeling a bit dissatisfied with this game. Yes, I think one of the reasons was because there were too many good ideas in there that went to waste. I mean, not to mention that it cost me over £20, bloody VAT, which really it was over a little bit too quickly for my liking. But not to worry. But the question, boys and girls, is, would I recommend it?